Good evening, everyone. Want to sincerely appreciate you for taking your time to be part of today's training. This training is brought to you by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. The training is brought to you by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and we are offering a free professional diploma course on peace and sustainable development. We just concluded a professional diploma training in alternative dispute resolution, and they have started doing their practicals. But today we are starting a new journey, a journey that will run throughout the month of October. So happy Independence Day to you, those of you that are Nigerians, for celebrating your independence. We are 64 years old man, 64 years old, with full of potentials and vibrant future. So we congratulate all Nigerians for celebrating the independence that we have gained since 1960. So we appreciate all of you for taking time to be part of this training. So like I said, the training is provided by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and the training is totally free. Professional diploma in peace and sustainable development. So if you have joined this training and maybe this is your first experience of participating in this kind of training, we expect you to first and foremost share the link with someone, share the link on your wall, invite someone to take a professional diploma course for free from the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. And then, of course, even if they cannot participate in this one, they can participate in subsequent ones because we are doing it monthly. We have several courses that we are going to train people into. So it's going to be an opportunity for you to participate and also invite others to come join you in getting the knowledge you are going to get. The goal of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management for organizing this training is to circulate our world with the knowledge of peace, because we believe that it's only when people have the knowledge of peace that they can promote peace. You cannot promote what you don't know. It's when you have the knowledge of peace that you can promote peace. So, and that's the reason why, that is the motivation behind this training. So instead of charging you to pay for it before you can get this training, we decided to offer it for free so that you can have opportunity to participate. And we decided to offer it for free online like this on Facebook, on YouTube, because we have millions of people on using these apps. Do you understand? And so there is possibility that we can connect with people. Some people saw the live, connect, and then listen to it, and then from there they connect. So this is the so we are doing it strategically. It's very intentional. So that's why we're using Facebook and YouTube. All right. So um we welcome you. So like I said, the training is provided by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. So if you join us, share the link with someone on your wall, inviting them to participate in the training. And so today we are going to start our training on peace and sustainable development. And like you all know, for development to take place, there must be peace. And for you to have what we call sustainable development, there must be a proportionate level of sustainable peace for development to take place. Do you understand? All right. Let me just ask you one question. Of what use is the development that took place in Gaza? You know Gaza, the Palestine, all right? Gaza, Palestine, right? Capital of Palestine, you know. So I'm asking you the question now, of what use is that development that took place in Gaza? Because that development has been wiped out because of conflict. So for development, for sustainable development to be achievable, it means that there must be sustainable peace. Do you understand? And this is the reason why we are here today. And so we are going to study peace and sustainable development. That is what we are going to study here. And so we are going to um, bring out various topics that will help you to participate in this training. All right. So we appreciate all of you for taking your time to join this meeting, and we hope that you will learn something from it, from what we are doing. All right. So please, I'm coming. So thank you very much. We are back, and so we're going to continue with the training. All right. So thank you so much. So peace and sustainable development is what we're looking at today. And like I say, for us to achieve any reasonable development, there must be reasonable peace. And I ask a question, of what use is the development that took place in Gaza some years ago? Because one conflict have destroyed and erased that history. It's a rubble of destruction that is available now. That's what we are seeing because of lack of peace. Do you understand? Today I saw how Iran fire rockets and ballistic missiles and all of that towards Israel. So we are at the verge of having a full-fledged conflict in the Middle East. I get your point now. You see, it's like Israel is being attacked on several fronts: Iran, Lebanon, Gaza, several fronts. Do you understand? So, and they are destroying serious, as in destruction. The kind of destruction that is going on is not just human destruction, but every physical development that has been put in place is being destroyed. And the level of traumatization that people are going through can never be erased in few years to come. Do you understand? So this is the problem, and that's why this underscore the importance of this training. If we look at the things that is happening in Middle East, in Africa here, you look at Dr. Congo, Central African Republic, Nigeria. I get a point now. We have Sudan, South Sudan. We are having serious conflict ongoing. Do you understand? We just come out of the devastating situation in Nigeria here, the issue of Boko Haram. Do you understand? So we have been having series of challenges here and there. Now we have what we call the armed banditry terrorizing the state, the south, the northwest of Nigeria. So these are the issues. So, and destruction is going on. Massive destruction is ongoing because of lack of peace. And this seriously underscores the importance of this training. And that's what we are doing it. So if you are doing this training, you are doing yourself good. Peace and sustainable development. To get us to understand certain things that we need to do to achieve sustainable peace and of course ensuring development in our world. Do you understand? So sustainable development. That's what it is. So thank you once again for joining us, and thank you for those of you that have been consistent. There are some people that have been participating. Some are going to join us new, and I welcome all of you. Just share the link with someone, invite them to also take part in this training and receive the knowledge you're also receiving, and together we'll make our world uh, a better place to live. I think you saw the video I shared on our page, the speech given by the Barbados Prime Minister. You saw what she agitated for: global peace. And that's what we are doing here, because people are connecting from different parts of the world. And so we are reaching out to people. So help us to reach out to people. Help people to know that we are doing something like this that will help them. You can use this certificate to look for a job, get upgrade in your workplace, and then apart from that, use the knowledge you acquire to also promote peace in your community. And once we achieve community peace, we achieve global peace. It's possible. Do you understand? So that is why we are here. So this training is very important and critical. So we hope that you are going to benefit effectively and actively and gain valuable knowledge that will help you and our society. Thank you very much. Once again, you're welcome. So we will be looking at today, we'll be looking at mode one. Mode one, we have 3 units that we're going to cover in mode one. We're going to look at introduction to peace and sustainable development. Introduction to peace and sustainable development. And we are going to look at unit one, understanding peace and conflict management, because that's the basics. Understanding peace and conflict, all right? Then we'll look at the concept of peace and conflict. We'll look at the causes and consequences of conflict, all right? And then we'll look at peace building approaches. That's what we're going to cover today in this training. So on Thursday, we'll be looking at unit two, which is foundations of sustainable development. Foundations of what? Sustainable development. And then on Friday, we'll be looking at global governance and international organizations in unit three. This is what we're going to look at on Friday, and we'll continue like that. All right. We'll continue like that until we finish the course. So we have a lot to cover before this training, comes to an end. So thank you very much for being part of today's training. And once again, my name is Ambassador Tavuli Joshua. I'm the registrar of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and I'm the one that have been sharing knowledge with you. And of course, we are benefiting from it. I'm also learning. As much as you're learning, I'm also learning because as you teach, you know. Do you understand? So that is what's helping me to achieve as well. All right. So, uh, understanding peace and conflict. Now, peace and conflict are complex concepts. They are what? Complex concepts. Do you understand? That encompasses various factors and dynamics. Various factors and dynamics. What you may think may be conflict may just be a social condition, may not necessarily be a conflict. All right? But conflict has several angles and several factors influencing it, as well as peace also have those factors that enhances peace. Do you understand? So we are going to look at this concept and how essential they, you know, affect these factors that we're talking about here. All right. So we're going to look at the concept of peace and conflict. The concept of peace and conflict. Now, when we talk about peace and conflict, you know, my president says they are like twins. Wherever there is peace, conflict will find its way there. And wherever there is conflict, peace will find its way there. Do you understand? So they are like twins. And of course, conflict is inevitable. It's inevitable because it can occur anywhere people live, people coexist, and co work. Do you understand? Where people coexist, co work, and live, there is the tendency of conflict. There is the tendency of what? Conflict. So conflict can occur at different levels, at the local level, at the national level, at the regional level, and at the international level. Do you understand? That's what conflict is all about. So it can happen anywhere in your school, in your family, in our communities. Conflict is, you know, is inevitable. It's inevitable. So when we talk about peace, some of us feel that peace is just an absence of war. That is where there are no bombs flying here and there or bullets flying here and there, then we have peace. Is that what you call peace? We consider that to be what we regard as relative peace, but it's not peace. But to some extent, for the fact that, well, you are not hearing the sound of guns, ballistic missiles, bomb blasts here and there, then you can consider it to be uh, what we call relative peace, but that is not peace. Peace is very holistic. Do you understand? Peace is very holistic. And it's not just the absence of war, it encompasses a lot of things. It encompasses a lot of things. Do you understand? So, what are those things? All right. So, this is what we are going to look at in the definition here. So today, take it from here, the definition of peace. So when you are asked what is peace, define this definition and you get it right. So peace represents a state of harmony, a state of what? Harmony, absence of war. Harmony means that ability to live together without disagreement. State of harmony, absence of violence, and respect for human rights. Respect for what? Human rights and dignity. Are you getting the issue now? So now you can see it's not just an absence of war. We are talking about the issue of harmony here, ability to interact in peace. That's number one. Number two is respect for human rights. So whenever you see human rights, the rights of people abused or being abused, it means that there is no peace. All right. Whenever human dignity is not respected, there's no peace. So you may not be hearing the sound of guns and the sounds of bomb blasts and the sounds of ballistic missiles released here and there, or fighter jets running up and down. You may not be hearing those sounds, but I can tell you that injustice, a single injustice, means that there's no peace. When people are being kidnapped, when the rights of people are being abused, do you understand? Whenever we have domestic violence, all of these means that we are not having peace. What we have is just relative peace. So when it comes to our peace, we have those fundamental elements that that we consider as peace. And one of those elements, we call it the 8 pillars of peace. And we have one of them is also a functional government. So government that is not functioning well means that there is no peace. Do you understand? So if you look at countries like Scotland, oh no, not Scotland. Yes, Scotland is also enjoying peace. What about but it's not really a country anyway, but it's a country. It's one of the United Kingdoms, all of this. So we have Iceland. I wanted to talk about Iceland. Iceland is regarded, yes, it's a small country, of course, but we also have small countries that are useless. Isn't also that are just fighting? There is war consistently going on. There's, abuse of human rights. Do you understand? And there are different kind of crimes that are being committed in those countries, though are small. Do you understand? So, but we're talking about another country here, Iceland, that has been regarded by the Institute of Peace and Economics and Peace, Australia, for years as one of the most peaceful countries in the world. And I took time to try to research some of the things that make this country to be so peaceful. I discovered that their prisons are not functioning. That is why they have prisons, right? But they are not functioning. They are not functioning because there's nobody to put in the prison. Do you understand? There's nobody to put in the prison. The economy is functioning. There is equal distribution of resources. So nobody cares what you have or if you don't have. Do you understand? So far as they know, everybody have something to live on. So nobody cares. Do you understand? Everybody's mind is own business. And of course, they're enjoying what we call peace. Equal distribution of resources, the respect for human rights, sound educational system, a functional government. I get the point now. And of course, sustainable development. So they are enjoying this. So there are no criminals. There is no right. There are no rights abuses. There are no business manipulation that will require a court to go and have a case to discuss and then send somebody to prison. Do you understand? That's what we call peace. Apart from that, any other thing that we're talking about here is related peace. We have other countries that also enjoy peace to some extent, but there are elements of violence here and there, so we can call them as countries that enjoy relative peace. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So peace is more than the absence of war. It encompasses social justice. It encompasses what? Social justice. So injustice to one is injustice to all. So if you see injustice and you refuse to say something, then just wait a bit. tomorrow you will face the injustice, or your children will face the injustice, your relatives will face the injustice. Okay, so peace encompasses what? Social justice, human rights, respect for human rights, and sustainable development. So when we have this in place, we can say that we have peace. So this is the definition of peace. So I hope you know today. So we're talking about peace. It's not just an absence of war, it's more than that. All right? It's more than that. So let's look at conflict. What is conflict? Conflict indicates a situation of disagreement or discord arising from differences in interests, values, or goals. So whenever there is goal incompatibility, there's possibility for conflict. Do you understand? Because once the two are not agreeing, possibly what you see is conflict. You are going to experience conflict. I get a point now. So this is what we are talking about here. So conflicts arising from disagreement. People can disagree. Disagreement, and it's one of the first layers of conflict. Disagreement is the first layer. Then we can talk about differences in value, opinions, I get a point now, and then maybe also other factors. So conflict arises from various factors such as economic disparities. When there is no equal distribution of resources, it causes conflict. Okay, where the rich are getting richer and the poor get poorer, then we begin to have issues of kidnapping, armed robbery attacks, killings here and there, ritual, human rights abuses. I can point out. So wherever there are economic disparities, then it can cause conflict. Do you understand? So ethnic tension, countries where there are different ethnic backgrounds, like Nigeria, for instance, that has so many ethnic groups. Do you understand? It is when there is a when there when whenever there's tension among these ethnic groups, it causes conflict. Do you understand? Then we have political instability, religious conflicts. Do you understand? Religious differences. All of these contribute to causing what? Peace, conflict rather. They cause conflict. So, for example, in the regions like Middle East, for instance, now conflict often stem from historical grievances and competition over limited resources. And you can agree with me that the conflict that is going on between Israel and Palestine and other neighboring countries in the Middle East is as a result of history. It's historical conflict. Some people feel that they were here before these people come. And the history is also saying that where we were here before, it's just that we were taken captive and we went on into captivity. Do you understand? So, and then we come back. Do you understand? At the end of the day. So, all these histories, biblical injunctions are here, are there to, also to say more to the history. Do you understand? So, and this is the war that is going on there. The war going on in the Middle East is not necessarily a religious war. It's not a religious war. It's a matter of history. Do you understand? And of course, certain elements may also add to it, like religious artifacts. I get a point now. We are, for instance, now in the issue of the West Bank and whatever bank, the East Bank or North Bank or whatever, that is also a problem. Do you understand? Because Palestine are saying that before we go, we need to go with the West Bank. Why? Because they have some of their religious artifacts there. Their mosques also are there. Do you understand? And because they are predominantly Muslims. Yes, we have Palestinian Christians, of course, but they are predominantly Muslim. And they considered some of these things as some of the things that they have invested their lives into it. So they feel that they should be given that privilege to go with that aspect. And then Israel is saying, no, both West Bank and whatever is our land. You understand? And so these things are historical and become problem. Yes, of course, other aspects like I have mentioned may add to it, but this is what is causing tension in the Middle East. I get a point now. So these are the factors that causes conflict. There are so many other factors: resources, lack of scarcity of resources, incompatibility. Do you understand? All of them can cause conflict. All right. So today you know the definition of peace. You also know the definition of conflict. Do you understand? And like I said, peace is not just an absence of war. I'm just trying to recap. Peace is not just an absence of war or an absence of violence. It encompasses a lot of things: social justice, human rights, and sustainable development. I hope we are following and we are learning something. Are you following and you are learning something here? So if you are learning something, that's fine. So let's move forward. Let's look at the causes and consequences of conflict. Causes and consequences of conflict. The causes and consequences of conflict. Now, conflict, like I mentioned some of the causes, right? But we're going to go deep into it. But whatever may be the cause of conflict, just know that it has consequences. And what are the consequences? Number one consequence is the loss of lives. I just want to make point on that as a part of the introduction before we proceed. Whenever there, okay, okay, just take statistics. Okay, just I hope you have been reading the statistics. The conflict between Israel and Palestine or Hamas started last year, October, right? As of today, more than 40,000 Palestinians have been killed. 40,000. 40,000 lives, destinies wasted like that. No, this is not just what is wasted, though. Any form of development they meant to have achieved also is destroyed. So they are dying through the bullet, the barrel of the gun. At the same time, they are dying from malnutrition, hunger. Hunger is also harvesting lives, while gun is also harvesting, and several other factors, malnutrition, and all of that are harvesting. Diseases are harvesting as a result of what? Conflict. So whenever you have an issue that you need to address, and you don't want to address it in a peaceful way, just have it at the back of your mind that this issue that you don't want to resolve it peacefully, it has consequences. Once you just decided to use the way of violence to settle your matter, expect any consequence. You may end up losing your life. Have you not seen that? Okay, in a local area, people wants to fight, you want to separate them, and everybody is just like, hey, I no agree, I no agree. Hey, allow me, let me go and fight. And then he went, and then somebody carry iron. They open a carry iron. Before you know it, on his head. The next thing is tap, 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 like when you kill a rat. Before you know it, it's dead and gone and forgotten. At most, maybe this person may go to prison, serve prison terms, and possibly even being released at some point to go. And then, but you lose your life. And maybe you have children, you have a wife. So what happened? That is why we have criminals on the street, because children are not properly raised. Do you understand? So these are the issues. Sometimes single mothers trying to take care of children is not easy. And of course, you understand what I'm talking about. So these are consequences, immediate and remote consequences. So, but let's look at the causes of conflict. One, competition over resources. Competition over resources. The conflict that is going on in Congo is conflict over the issue of resources. The conflict that is going on in Middle East between Israel and Palestine is part of the resources that we're talking about, because land is a resources. So the portion that Palestinians are saying, give it us, if they were willing to fulfill that portion of the land and forget about it and move their own way, by now we wouldn't have been hearing those crises there. But no, they want the portion of the land. And someone else is saying that I am not going to give you because it's part of my land. It's also the resources that we're talking about. So resources can stem from land, mineral resources, petrol. For us, we know what fuel. Do you understand? Crude oil. Like for us in Nigeria, sometimes ago during during the Passenger administration, stroke the Yaradua administration, we had the issue of Niger Delta militants here and there fighting conflicts. And then what happened? It was Yaradua that was able to resolve that conflict, but it's a conflict over resources. Do you understand? And still, we are still having certain agitation here and there because the issue has not been properly resolved. So, competition over resources, whenever there are limited resources and people are competing for it, what do you expect? Conflict. When jobs opportunities are limited, people are competing, it becomes a problem. You understand? So even money, the money of the nation sometimes are being stolen by few people. Competition. And this causes conflicts. There are latent impact, effects. So power struggle is another reason. Power struggle. Whenever there is an ordinate ambition for power, the quest for power, whether it is a moderate ambition or over ambition, for instance, it can also cause conflict. Do you understand? So, because you want this seat by all means, I also want the same seat by all means. So, what do you expect? Conflicts, right? People died in my own country, Nigeria, here where we come from. We see how political opponents are being killed simply because they are contesting for a position that someone else is interested. People being killed, several manipulations go on. People tribe fighting against other tribe because of people that come from their own tribe and they are contesting for the same position. And then there are divisions here. We don't consider ourselves again as Nigerians, we consider ourselves as Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, and Fulanis. Do you understand? And then we forget that we are first Nigerians before we become Yorubas as a nation. So this is the issue. So, but one of the things that divide us the most, and some of the conflicts that we see in our nation the most, and in several places, is the issue of political struggle. Look at the issue of South Sudan. What's happening in South Sudan today is the issue of political struggle, power struggle. I get a point now. Politicians just want to take over, want to be in control, want to be in charge. I want to be the one to control the resources of the nation. And sometimes some of them will go there and then refuse to leave. If you can see the issue, not just South Sudan, what about Sudan itself? Is it not two generals are fighting? So much going on in that place. The conflict that is going on in Libya, is it not conflict over the issue of power struggle, control? So these are the conflicts going on, political struggles. Are you not point now? So whenever you you are looking for political power, influence, or control over decision making, of course, now I'm talking about political powers. What about local elections that you people do? That's just community meetings that you used to have. By the time you begin to look for those positions, you aspire for to become anything, and those kind of you begin to have issues, conflict, social inequality, social inequality. There's disparities in wealth distribution, status, or access to opportunities can lead to tensions and conflicts. One of the conflicts that we have in our nation mostly is the issue of marginalization. Some section of the country are saying we are being marginalized. We don't must have equal access to some of these resources. We don't even get equal opportunities like in the military, in civil service, most especially the federal civil service. So many people feel that they are, you know, they were denied opportunity, and there are this sense of favoritism, nepotism here and there. Do you understand? Even in terms of political appointment, where when one is a president, he feels that his tribal people are the most trusted people to work with. So this issue of marginalization here, and these are social inequalities that we're talking about, class consciousness, the rich and the poor. Do you understand? So all of these are source of conflict. All right. So ethnic and religious differences. Yes, another challenge that we have in our nation. Nigeria have Nigeria, for instance. I'm giving an example because I'm more conversant with Nigeria because it's my country. So I'm making some passionate giving references. We have we are a multi-religious country. Do you understand? We have Islam, we have the Christians, we have the traditional religion. Do you understand? And we this religious institution, religious beliefs, we are always crashing on our belief systems because we consider different things different. Do you understand? But one thing we agree is that we are serving God. Allah in Hausa is God, right? In English. That's what we all believe that we are serving. It's just that we have different prophets through which we accept their teachings and we are going to go to God. Do you understand? So, what is the reason for the fight? What is the reason for the tension? When we all agree that we are serving one God, just through different roads, that is, through different prophets. So, why is the fight? So, because the issue always is not even between the traditional religion. Traditional religion is because of its violence nature and the wickedness that displayed there, the witch, the witchcrafts and manipulations that they do. That we always consider them to be very terrible religion. You understand? And so most of the times we don't see their own as an issue, but we see Christianity and Islam always being a problem at the loggerhead. Why? We are serving the same God through different prophets. So what? So what's the issue? Why are we fighting? So, but this has been a problem and a source of conflict in our country here for several years. And sometimes even politicians make use of this to exacerbate the tension and then just to rise to power and then move. So these things are happening. So ethnic and religious differences also causes conflict. We are discussing the causes of conflict, all right? So ideological differences. When we have different belief systems, it can cause problem. Do you understand? So when we have different ideologies, belief system, ideologies, values, traditional, cultural affinities, different cultural affinities, this can cause problem. Do you understand? Yes. So And there are several other causes that we did not mention here, but are also contributing to the cause of conflict. So far, so good. For this training, we mentioned about 5 of the causes of conflict. We talk about competition over resources, power struggle, social inequality, ethnic and religious differences, and the ideological differences. Do we understand now? I hope we are learning something. So, if you are joining this meeting and you are not sharing it with someone, inviting them to be part of this training, then you are not doing us good. Invite someone to also take part in this training and enjoy what you are enjoying. It's free, so be free enough to distribute it to people to also get to connect and be part of the training. Place it on your wall, share it with a friend, invite someone to share it with a colleague to also participate and enjoy. So now we are going to look at the consequences, the consequences of the causes of conflict that we have just discussed. What are the consequences? Let's look at the consequences. Consequences of conflicts. Number one, humanitarian crisis. Oh my goodness. Humanitarian crisis. As I just mentioned the issue of humanitarian crisis, I'm seeing the picture of Lebanon. I'm seeing the picture of Gaza. I'm seeing the picture of Ukraine. I'm seeing the picture of all the IDP camps in Nigeria. It is terrible. It's a terrible situation. People living in the state of deprivation. Do you understand? That is, you have no freedom again. You are confined, and whatever you had has been destroyed. You become a desperate and stranded person in your own land. Why? Because of any of those things that we have mentioned, causes of conflict. Poverty. Oh my goodness. You see, many people are dying in Gaza not because they are dying because a bullet hit them. No, 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 no. It's hunger, hunger that struck them, causes malnutrition, and then eventually death. Children are suffering. If they carry, there are some children, if you look at the pictures, you will feel for the people. Do you understand? Humanitarian crisis. And then sometimes the countries that are strong block the ways for humanitarian aid to reach the people. Is it not what the United Nations have been making noise? People making noise. Open the doors, let's get the materials to these people. But they don't want, and they just open when they confirm that yes, they are not carrying arms to go and supply to their enemies and whatever. The same things happening in Ukraine, where Russia feels as I'm in charge here, right? So I'll detect what happened in this region. I get a point now. So these are the issues altogether. So number one consequences of conflict is humanitarian crisis. The IDPs, internally displaced person, the refugees, some out of Nigeria. You understand? Some Cameroon, some Niger, Chad, ran because of Boko Haram activities. Some don't want to even come back. Some relocated from their own place of origin to another place and they don't want to visit their place of origin again on account of what? Conflict. So humanitarian crisis. So if you go to IDP camps, some of you maybe by next year now, maybe we'll be visiting some of them to see how we can support them as an institution. And many of you may also participate in supporting the visit. Do you understand? So that is it. So loss of lives and infrastructure. Now, as I'm speaking about these things, be imagining some things. Just imagine the situation in Gaza, because we're talking about loss of lives and infrastructure. So critical example, Gaza. Critical example, Ukraine. Critical example of what is happening now is Lebanon. What about the one that is happening in Somalia? What about the one that is happening in Sudan? What about the one that is happening in South Sudan? Lives are going, infrastructures being destroyed. We use billions of monies to build. We use our own hands to destroy. It is easier to destroy than to build. You understand? So it will take several years to rebuild. That is, it doesn't matter how much the United Nations will donate for the rebuilding. It will take several years for that to be accomplished. And you can never recover from it. 42,000 lives lost in the space of 1 year. Engineers, governors, presidents that would have become died. Lots of lives. Boko Haram devastated the country. Many infrastructures destroyed. When it started, I was in Meduguri, a school in Meduguri, of course. When it started, we were there. Well, somehow we finished, but we're still not yet done. So 2009 was still, we were still going to school to see how we can be able to, clear ourselves and then and get our NYSC posting and move. And we're caught up in the middle of all of these activities. Do you understand? So what I witnessed at that time was the destruction of government properties. Do you understand? So because their problem, they had their first at the initial stage, it was government and the Boko Haram members. But later on, it escalated, and then anything was a target for destruction. Human lives, project, infrastructures, everything. And then that state was totally, totally destroyed. Recovery is so slow. That's why we must promote peace. I don't cherish giving lives simply because you want to obtain a portion of land. You sacrifice 42,000 lives. That's not the first ones you have sacrificed. You have been sacrificing thousands of lives simply because you need a particular portion of land to be in your territory. For me, it doesn't make sense. Yes, but history, religious belief systems, all of these are making the whole thing to become so difficult to handle. Do you understand? Because they don't want to part way with all of those things because they consider it to be part of their lives. They build it over the years. So separating from it just like that, no, no, no. But when you weigh other factors, life being lost, infrastructure being destroyed, so many things going on, then young children being killed, it doesn't make, for me, no, 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 no. Let me say my mind today that if God is a true God, then wherever we build a church, wherever we build a mosque, God will be there. So far as the practice there is acceptable to God, God Himself will come down there and bless the people in that place. Do you understand? So anything can be let go. Even the mosque can be let go, the church can be let go. For the peace and for the safety of lives of the people, the lives are much more paramount than any other stuff. So, but these things are becoming so difficult to settle. So, loss of lives and infrastructural destruction is what I'm talking about here. So, sometimes even churches are being destroyed, mosques being destroyed. But I think these are the things we are fighting to preserve, but they are being destroyed again. So, what is the essence then? So, but that's the challenge. So loss of lives. Economic impact. Economic what impact? Conflict can devastate economies, causing loss of livelihoods, lively businesses being destroyed, hospitals, jobs lost, schools destroyed. So many things. Look at the Houthis. Um, Look at the attack on Houthis seaport. Massive destruction. So how economic activities are being affected, and Somalia has been in a bad picture since it's one of the countries that suffer the consequences of conflict the most. Do you understand? So economic impact. That's why it's one of the poorest countries in the world, Somalia. Why? Conflict. Do you understand? So it hinders development and reducing economic growth. Because you build today, tomorrow you destroy. I give you a critical example now. Gaza is there. You build today, it's being destroyed tomorrow. Ukraine there, build today, destroy tomorrow. Why? Because of social divisions, conflict deepening societal divisions. Of course, for us here, it's north and south. Igbo versus Yoruba, Igbo versus Hausa, division here and there. The Hutus versus the whatever, what is the other one that nearly wiped one ethnic group in Rwanda. Do you understand? All of these issues are their social divisions. In Myanmar, what is happening there? In Myanmar, there is conflict, social division. You understand? And animosity, hatred for people. That is real hatred. See, let me tell you something. One of the challenges of Nigeria was the coup that took place in 1966. That, is it 1963? 1963 or 1960? That coup create hatred in the minds of the nation, of the people of this nation, that forgiveness is becoming practically impossible. And that's why we, for instance, we are calling for national reconciliation. That is, we need a truth reconciliation commission created to reconcile the different tribes in Nigeria. Until we have to go back to the drawing board, call all the tribes together and reconcile. Say, the offense you did to me in 1960, I forgive you today. Actually, it was very bad. Or the civil war that took place and millions of an ethnic tribe died. Despite all of that, I have forgiven you. You understand? Let's move forward and build a country that we can call our own. So, so you understand the impact of conflict, social division, consequences. That is what we are suffering today in the nation. Everywhere, division here and there. It's as if some tribes have vowed that other tribes cannot get certain opportunities. That's you coming from a particular tribe. In fact, it's a curse for you, because you will not have opportunities, or even if you have limited opportunities. So there's not going to be equal distribution. So these are the issue. We need to speak some of these things and tell the people that cares to hear the leadership that needs to hear these things to correct some of these things. It takes political will to correct some of these things and unite the nation again. We cannot be saying unity, peace, and progress, and all we see is hatred, division, and retrogression. So how can we say we are developing? How can we say we are progressing? How can we say we are a peaceful nation? But if you look at the emblem of Nigeria, what do you see? The arm, the Nigerian coat of arms. What do you see? Peace, unity, and development. Or is it unity, peace, and development? Where are we? You can give the assessment. Yes, we are making progress, whether we like it or not. But we make progress today, tomorrow we destroy it. So what is the essence? What's the essence of that? Yaradua wanted to actually set some precedents that people should follow, but whatever Yaradua tried to establish, is it still there? That is, every good thing that Yaradua did has been destroyed. But we have countries like Singapore, Malaysia, that have long-term plan. Do you understand? And the long-term plan is embedded in the element of peace, or the pillars of peace, and of course the pillars of development. And they are achieving what we call sustainable peace and of course sustainable development. That's why Singapore, Malaysia, and Nigeria at that time get their independence. But these countries, what they have achieved, Nigeria cannot even near a quarter of it. Is it resources that we don't have? Most blessed nation in the world. Several resources. Some of them we don't even know them. Some of them we are not even. We allow our Chinese people are helping us to grab them in the bush. Do you understand? We are busy dividing and destroying, dividing and destroying. Social division. I'm talking about social division. You understand? And this hinders development and reduces growth. So you, the student of peace and sustainable development today, I don't know when you will have the opportunity to be the president of this country, but it's possible you will have the opportunity to be a president of this country, or tomorrow you can be a president of country in your own country. Those of you that join from other countries, consider the knowledge you are getting here today. All right, that in all you're doing, make sure that peace is the top priority. You can get money, you can get political power, but if there's no peace, or what use it is? Political instability. Political instability also is one of the consequences of what conflict. It can be a cause as well as a consequence. Do you understand? Yes, because we're supposed to have a stable democracy. Are we having a stable democracy? The democratic processes have been abused, and this causes conflict and tension, heightening the polity of the nation. Governance is a Is it not last? Okay, maybe there's another protest that they say they are starting this month. But somebody, I saw, I saw somebody was asking online on Facebook today. So how far is in your area? Is the protest going on? That is we are anticipating another protest, round of protest. And what's the protest all about? The protest is end bad governance. So what are the causes of bad governance? Political instability. Is it not so? So understanding these causes and consequences is crucial for developing strategies to prevent and mitigate conflict effectively. So now you understand. So in your own little way, try to mitigate the impact of these things. If someone come and say, "Well, I am aspiring for a position, I want you to go and cause trouble here, make sure that the ballot box is being destroyed, make sure that everything vote is in my favor, make sure that every vote is in my favor," then tell the person that no, 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 you are not going to participate in that because we want a stable democracy. We don't want political violence, electional, uh, uh, violence and post-election violence and all of that. You don't want them. So you refuse to participate. Even if it's an appointment that if you were to do it and they will give you minister, forget about that ministerial appointment and then for the peace of the nation. So in your own little way, you have a part to contribute. It's not just a problem of leadership alone. It's the problem of even the followership. If we refuse to celebrate corruption, of course, then we will have our society change. But we celebrate corruption, we embrace corruption. In our own little way, if we have opportunity, some people may do something unbelievable. That's the very things they will criticize him. They will do it worst. Was it not some people who protested when fuel was 87 naira? How much are they giving us now? The people that were on the street protesting, was it for our own good? We are always being manipulated. So, but that is how it is. So, if somebody call out for protest, ask the person, "What are you protesting for? And how do you intend to protest?" And if you are a military officer or police officer and you are asked to go and stop the protesters, ask yourself, how well are you doing? And how well are your juniors in your office doing? How is your family faring? Where are they schooling? How many meals they eat per day? So if we go out there, maybe you should do what the police in Edo State did. If it's for peace, I am with you. We are with you. We will guide you to protest as long as you want, so far as you refuse to destroy anything. But you come out in the name of protest and you started destroying street light. What is the offense of street light? Something that is for your own good. That is, you say there's no development. The street light that they manage and install for you, you come out in the name of protest, end bad governance, and then you are constituting another problem. You see how we have a lot of work to do, right? Work to reorient our people. And that should be the work of National Orientation Agency. Not just their own alone. They can also be doing, we can also be doing, and individually we can be doing to bring peace in our world, all right, in our community. So lastly, for today, let's look at the last topic for today. We are going to look at peace building approaches. Peace building approaches. Now you have understood what peace is all about. You also understood what conflict is all about. You have seen the causes of conflict. You have seen the consequences of conflict. So, what are the approaches to peace building so that we can build peace in our nation, in our world? So, what are the approaches to peace building? What are the approaches? All right. Number one approach is conflict prevention. Conflict prevention. They say prevention is better than cure. So, in all you are doing, and in all you will do, always advance peace in it. In your political election, promote peace. In your search for contract job opportunities, promote peace. In your community where you live, promote peace. And whatever that you can do to prevent conflict from occurring, do it. But how do you prevent conflict? You don't prevent conflict at the auxiliary level. You prevent conflict from the root. So it means that dealing with the root causes of conflict must be attended. Nigeria will find it difficult to achieve peace until we, first and foremost, have what we call a genuine and true national reconciliation. That's number one step. So far as we refuse to reconcile because of our past experiences, I can tell you for sure that peace is far from us as a nation. It's a root cause. Do you understand? It's a root cause. By the time we begin to promote diversity more than individuals' belief systems or it's a ethnic belief system against the collective uh, goodness of the people, then we will be on the path of peace. But so far as we are not doing that, so far as you feel that your tribe is better than the other tribe, there's going to be a problem. As far as you feel that you should be in a position, not the other person, is a problem. So these are the root causes. So if we want to prevent conflict from happening, deal with the root causes. And we have mentioned some of those causes. Make sure that there are equitable distribution of resources. Make sure that elections are being conducted free and fair elections. Do you understand? Make sure that there are job opportunities available. Make sure that there's social justice, systemic justice in our nation. So you can see how we get work back, because the truth of the matter is that we have so much pride. If you're a leader, you don't want to come down and beg anybody. You don't want to come down and talk to anybody to say to you how you can promote peace. When protesters say we are coming out to protest, someone say, why you are protesting? We'll be eating. And he's a leader. Question: is that how you address conflict? Someone say, I'm coming out to protest because of bad governance. And you say, well, it's there for you, but for us, why you are protesting will be in our house enjoying ourselves. What level of insensitivity is that? So it means that all is well. So people just want to come out and protest for nothing. So we need to address some of these root causes. Do you understand? So we can calm down, even as leaders, we can calm down and have a listening ear. What are the people saying? How let what the people are saying be the yardstick to measure your achievement as a government. If you cannot do it, then you cannot help the system and the situation. So conflict prevention has to start from the root cause. That is the only way you can prevent conflict. But so far as you ignore the root causes, you want to come and prevent the one that people are on the streets protesting. That's the one you want to go and prevent. That is not it. Go to the root cause. Why are they on the street in the first place? Why are they not in schools? Why are they not in their places of work? Why are they not in the places of businesses? That should be your concern. So it means that the economic situation is not good. So you focus on the economy. You focus on better education. Do you understand? These are the root causes. This is why you are seeing people on the street. How many of you here with your job, they say, come and protest, you go and protest? How many of you? Nobody. And any day you go because of your interest. Some of the people that are leaders today that were marching on the street, years ago. They march because of their interests. Are they better than the ones they were marching against? I doubt. But we have different opinions. Your opinion may be different from mine. So conflict prevention, so prevent from the root cause, not add the effect of what you are seeing. So for example, early warning systems in conflict-prone regions like those used by UN agencies to monitor tensions and intervene early. But all of these things have been, so early warning system is what we need. But at the same time, some of these things are not functioning. Look at the Middle East. Is it functioning? So where are the early warning system? Or that is a complex, historical complex uh, problem that we are dealing with in the Middle East. So mediation and dialogue. Mediation and dialogue. So facilitating negotiation and dialogue between conflicting parties to resolve differences peacefully. So whenever there's need for conflict, there's conflict, what you need to do is dialogue. Don't go for dialogue and then just to come and mock people. Don't go for dialogue to come and arrest people just because you want to arrest people, or just because you want to know who are the leaders of the protests so that you can arrest them. No, don't go for that. If it's dialogue, let it be genuine dialogue. Come, let's reason together. What are you people saying? What are your challenges? What do you expect from us? That's dialogue. So they'll tell you expect one, two, three, four, five. And if you call for mediation, you can go and mediate, guide the parties involved to take decision. Reconciliation and healing. Wow. Reconciliation and healing. This is what I was talking about. True national reconciliation is what will make development come. It happens in South Africa. It happens in Rwanda. Is Rwanda not developing? One of the cleanest cities in Africa is Kigali. One of the cleanest cities in Africa is Kigali. Who doubts? Who is arguing? Argue, let me hear. Is it Abuja? No. South Africa. Is South Africa not developing? Because Nelson Mandela facilitated true national reconciliation. We fought civil war in this country and we behave as if we did not fight. We don't want to even care. Nobody don't even, in fact, we don't want to even, we say we should not even history, we should not study history in our schools. At some point, that's what they were saying. Because we don't want to tell our own stories. If we do not tell our own stories, how do we resolve our problems? We have to tell our stories so that our children can avoid the paths that brought us to where we were in time past. So we need to tell our stories. I think I saw one. I saw something online. Somebody was talking about that the BBC want to produce a film, a series, to talk about the civil war in Nigeria. And the person was questioning. The person was lamenting that the Igbos refused to act films and tell stories of the conflict. Yes, I think I saw films that demonstrated the issue of civil war anyway, but they don't want to tell these stories very well. So somebody else is, and the organization said they're going to partner with a Yoruba man. So the person was questioning. The Igbos were the one that suffered the consequences of the conflict. Someone else will tell the stories. How? But we were all here. It's our country, so anybody can tell the story. Do you understand? The question, the person was just questioning. I'm just trying to just demonstrate what the person was saying in the write-up. Do you understand? So we need to tell our stories. We cannot hide them. Let's tell our stories. They are young. And that's one of the things that we're going to do. In our films, we are going to be producing films. Do you understand? Some of these stories, we're going to tell them in those stories so that young children in schools, in our peace club that want to establish in schools. These things, they will watch them in the schools and learn. They must learn so that they will promote the path of tolerance and peace in our nation. So through reconciliation and healings, promoting healings and reconciliation process to mend relationships and rebuild trust, because it was trust that was destroyed in the 1963 coup d'etat that took place. Trust was destroyed, but trust can be rebuilt. Do you understand? This is what I'm talking about here. So among communities affected by conflict, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa is notable example. It did not just stop in South Africa. In Rwanda, it happened, where even one ethnic group was almost wiped out, yet they reconciled. And development is going on there. Stable democracy is going on there. Yes, there may be conflicts here, little conflicts here and there, but they are still going on. Do you understand? So this is what we're talking about here. So peace building through development. Peace building through development. So if you are in the position of authority and there's money to do project, please, sir and ma'am, put the money in the project, please. And don't do substandard work. Do concrete work, because know it that if it's a road, you refuse to do the road very well, tomorrow it will spoil. You too, you will drive on the road. Your children will also drive on the road. And the money you stole, you use it and repair the car that you. So do the road, build the schools so that it will take criminals out of the street. Give scholarships, make education affordable, take young people out of the street, create industries where young people can be engaged. In every street of China, there are industries. That is why we're not hearing trouble there. Do you understand? The industries are there. Every street of China, industries. So who get time to go and protest? Who get? Do you understand some of these things I'm talking about? So if our opportunity to bring development. All right. So some of these things, you can construct some projects in communities, affected communities. You can go there and build water borehole, build clinics, and all of that, and just to make sure that peace is achievable. Do you understand? So investing in social economic justice and upholding human rights. Okay, social economic development to reduce and rebuild trust among communities can help. So investing in social economic development to reduce poverty, inequality, and grievances that fuel conflict can go a long way to help. All right. So rule of law and good governance. Rule of law and good governance. Rule of law. So let if the court says something, let's honor what the court says. But here, court judgments are not being accepted. Court give judgment to, and you say you are not going to implement it. Human rights are being abused. You just woke up and say, because of one disobedience, you maltreat an officer of the Nigerian Navy to a point that he is sacked. You cannot hate somebody to that point. There should be provisions for forgiveness. Make someone know he's wrong and forgive him and give him another chance to prove himself. Not sacking. It amazes me when you see they say police dismiss somebody, army dismiss somebody. Dismissing them to where? How can you train somebody and wake up one day and dismiss the person? It's uncalled for. should be, there should be another disciplinary measures, not dismissal. You can't train somebody and then you say, go, we don't need you again. Not just ordinary person, oh, a military man, you sack him. Police, you sack him. Go. We don't want you in the service again. Wow. No wonder Boko Haram is strong. No wonder kidnapping is very, very strong. No wonder banditry activities are very, very. You can see in our country, bandits will go and attack the whole of army and collect equipment and go. Right. So what are we saying? Rule of law, respect rule of law, and good governance. Good governance is what we're talking about here. People are clamoring for good governance every day, here and there. In Kenya, those of you from Kenya, what happened when the issue of finance bill was passed so hurriedly? What happened? Did you people in Kenya just smile at it? No, you came out in march, you protested. Destruction also took place even. Part of the National Assembly building was destroyed in Kenya. I'm telling you stories now. If you think we don't know, we have been seeing and reading it. Do you understand? So that's what happened. So good governance can reduce conflicts, build peace. All right. So this is the much we are going to take for today. So in your doing, make these approaches to be involved. Incorporate some of this, embed some of these approaches in everything you do so that we can have peace in our world, in our nations, in our communities, in our country. Thank you very much for being part of today's training. So I'm going to the comment section. If there is any question, I will take. If there is none, we'll say thank you for being part of today's training. So happy independence to you, all of you. Those of you that didn't join our time with Change Independence recently. Please, can you redefine peace and conflict? Okay, somebody is saying that you will define peace and conflict. And somebody is saying that I should redefine peace and conflict. We say peace is a state of harmony, an absence of war, and the promotion of human rights and justice. When you have this, you have peace. You may not, it's not, you may not have bullets flying about, but there's no peace. Because injustice is a problem, it's a cause of peace. Lack of equal distribution of resources is also a cause of conflict. Do you understand? So that's it. So thank you very much. Then conflict, we say, is a situation whereby there's disagreement or lack of agreement over resources, over issues, differences in opinion, differences in values can cause conflict. You understand? Now we say conflict is inevitable. I'll call in here. So that is just it. Thank you very much. We'll see you as we progress. Materials will be shared in the course of the training. So just continue to take place. So somebody is just telling me here that coup took place in 1966 and not in 1963. Yes, 1966. So that's it. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful night rest. We'll see you on Thursday. On Thursday, we are not having a meeting tomorrow, but this meeting will be rebroadcasted by 7 p.m. tomorrow. So, but on Thursday, we are going to have our meeting again by 7 p.m. Thank you very much for being part of today's training.